Black Raptor. Why black though, honestly? It's because of my skin color, obviously. In any case, Bethesda is currently down. They are making no money. Microsoft's probably breathing down their necks. Todd Howard has probably no clue in which company he's even working at. And the fans of this previously great studio have lost pretty much all hope. So, you're probably asking yourself, Quasar, will you strike them while they are down? Obviously. Like, listen, I make non-Bethesda videos about how bad Bethesda is. You think I'm gonna miss out on this chance? It is official at this point. Bethesda Studios have lost the code of Fallout New Vegas. They don't have it. They can't do anything. So, good luck to them. Now, granted, this probably sounds bad, but what would honestly they do if they even had the code for the game? Nothing. Well, do you think they honestly would make something good with it? No.
Prolific game designer and Fallout New Vegas senior designer Chris Avellone cast heavy doubt on the possibility of a remaster of Fallout New Vegas in an extended interview with the YouTube channel TK's Mantis, saying that Bethesda likely lacks the, quote, engineering know-how to pull it off. Welcome to Inside Games Daily, the only gaming news show brave enough to agree.
Yeah, I mean, we keep dogging on Bethesda. It's starting to get a little exhausting at this point. Hey, we love you.
Say what you will, I'm never exhausted to say bad things about Bethesda because they have earned every single word.
We love your games, just, it's complicated. It's complicated sometimes.
Complicated, Lawrence, is a very good word for this. To describe the prospects of a New Vegas remaster. Games Radar caught the news,
Never
in which
happening.
Avalon isn't exactly calling Bethesda inept, though he's certainly more blunt than most game devs.
Yeah, and you could read between the lines here if you want. And he does.
By the way, this I think is just the start. The reason this is so impactful, and this is why I'm honestly making this video, is because this is just the first domino to fall in case of Bethesda. Because more people will slowly go out and start saying Bethesda's bad. All of the people of notoriety in game making who could be working on Fallout games, Elder Scrolls games, or pretty much any IP that Bethesda has. And the reason that this is going to happen is because I think there's blood in the water and people are slowly getting the rumor, going through the rumor mill and figuring this out. Because I said this a while ago. The chances that Todd Howard gets fired are actually surprisingly high, most likely, because let's face it, Microsoft bought them for less than 10 billion, like 9 billion, and then they got Starfield for all of that. That is not worth it. And Bethesda has failed after failure after failure under Microsoft, under the point where Microsoft bought them. So Microsoft is currently looking at this like, well, everyone now hates Bethesda. Todd Howard is no longer loved. He's no longer he is still the face of Bethesda. But people are making fun of him and they don't like him. People are not excited about Bethesda in general. Which means there could be a change of leadership at this point. And the fact that people like Chris Avellone are blatantly calling out Bethesda for being incompetent and bad at their jobs. Because they are currently sugarcoating it, okay? If you watch the actual TK Bandis stuff where Chris Avellone speaks about it, oh, he is not trying to be nice. He is not at all trying to be nice. He is trying to say Bethesda is as incompetent and stupid as it can possibly get. Because this is how the big game of Hollywood, gaming, business works at the end of the day. You always suck up to the big players. Easy, right? And when they lose power, you punch them while they are down if you're in a good position that would benefit from them losing. And at this point, I think it's only a matter of time until more people come out and say negative things about Bethesda and their capabilities as a studio and Todd Howard as a leader. I think it's only a matter of time until more big names start doing this.
Spill some tea about that working relationship. We'll get to that later. Regardless, Avalon said, quote, I don't think Bethesda has the engineering know-how to make a remaster of New Vegas at all.
That's quite a statement, I think.
Pretty blunt, yeah.
Yeah, the reason it would be an engineering challenge for Bethesda is that, according to Avalon, Obsidian never delivered Fallout New Vegas source code at the end of the project.
Yeah. As Avalon reveals, New Vegas's final milestone was to, quote, deliver all the source code and the ability to make the build in exchange for a $10,000 check.
That's it?
Yeah, just 10K? You'd think it'd be way more on that, right?
Yeah. Apparently, Obsidian CEO Fergus Urquhart elected to skip the $10,000 paycheck.
Makes you wonder why. Maybe he was feeling kind of protective at that point. Who knows? Avalon
Makes you wonder why. The reason for this happening is very simple. I mean, that's a spit in your face. Hey, we just made fun of you. We literally showed you a PowerPoint presentation that tells you how bad and incompetent you are. Now, give us the source code and we're gonna give you 10K, which is literally probably nothing.
acknowledges that a remaster could be made similarly to the recent Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion remastered, where Unreal Engine visuals are wrapped around the game's creation engine core.
Yeah, it worked out really well for that game. But then Avalon very correctly points out that it would make sense to, quote, try out that process with Fallout 3 before biting off a New Vegas remaster. And that's what's rumored, Fallout 3.
Yeah, that was revealed in some of the, I guess, improperly redacted documents in the, in the lawsuit to prevent the acquisition of Activision Blizzard, that whole thing. That was a long time ago. Yeah, that was apparently was in the works at some point. We have to assume it still is now, but we haven't heard anything about it.
And now that Obsidian and Bethesda share a common parent company in Xbox and Microsoft, it's tempting to think that collaborative lines could be reestablished.
Tempting, yes, but further anecdotes from Avalon don't depict the rosiest collaboration.
That's too bad. There's that tea we did mention in the intro, so we'll get into it in just a sec. First, we got to...
Bethesda hates Obsidian, Pod hates Obsidian. And by the way, that's a good thing, don't get this twisted. Obsidian is not the studio that made Fallout New Vegas. Fallout New Vegas was a pure accident by Obsidian. They did not know what they were doing, and the result was sheer amazingness. Obsidian tried to do it with the Outer Worlds, and it was shallow, boring, safe, and dull. Then they made Avowed and the Outer Worlds 2, which were by far worse, unbelievably worse, in fact. So Obsidian, it's not like they can make a Fallout New Vegas 2. They could, but it would be garbage, because their track record is literally garbage.
Class up your gaming space a little. Here's this plate.
Hey gamers, let's talk about your walls. How are they looking? A little sad maybe? A little...
No. How about
But yeah,
no?
getting back to the story here, Avalon shared some stories that imply Obsidian and Bethesda didn't really have the best working relationship.
That's what we've heard. Elsewhere in the interview with TK's Mantis, Avalon recalled telling press back in the day that New Vegas would run at 30 FPS. He said, quote, "In my mind, it's inexcusable that a game would not run 30 frames per second, so I said, yes, it will. And to my surprise, I'm in this Bethesda meeting, this tech director starts lecturing me about, you shouldn't have said that." He continued, and I'm sitting there taking it, and all I'm thinking back in my head is like, why do you have a fucking engine that can't run 30 frames per second and then call that your claim to fame and you're the director of technology? It was so offensive to me. I sat there and I smiled and I took...
Again, Chris Avalon's not pulling any punches. He is burning all bridges.
it. But overall, that in itself was one fundamental flaw of the technology there.
Well, I'm glad I'm not the only one thinking it.
And Chris Avalon, obviously, maybe he's not the smartest guy in the universe, but he is smart enough probably to not just accidentally piss off Bethesda and Microsoft by saying this. There's probably a reason why he's doing it. This is not accidental.
It's interesting that, you know, I don't know, they, well, whatever. I'll just leave it there. All right. Avalon also said that Bethesda programmers, quote, say the engine has all sorts of messes under the hood. I think we've kind of heard this over the years, but yeah.
Everybody knows it too. If you play New Vegas, it crashes every 45 minutes or whatever.
Oh gosh, yeah. The best you can hope for is to kind of make it crash less, and that's the best anyone's ever been able to do.
That's not the only time Avalon...
What? Fallout New Vegas for me without any mods or anything does not crash. I think I have experienced... It crashes with mods for me. I actually tried once playing Fallout New Vegas with a mod, then it did crash actually. I don't know why.
Avalon felt patronized by Bethesda either. Avalon said that after Obsidian had finished their run of New Vegas DLCs, Bethesda made, quote, a whole PowerPoint about all the things Obsidian did wrong.
My goodness. Yeah, he sarcastically described the event as, quote, hugely morale boosting. Can't even imagine. Sheesh.
Avalon said that Bethesda used low review scores for New Vegas DLC as a reason they didn't want to work with Obsidian anymore.
Low review scores, he said.
Though he added, quote, they didn't want to keep doing things with us anyway, so whatever.
Yeah, I mean, Avalon, he didn't leave on the best terms with Obsidian either, so he has a reason to be pretty.
And by the way, if you're wondering if any of this is true, it's not. Bethesda is literally lying. While all of this was happening, while they were berating Obsidian about how much of a bad job New Vegas is, they were making DLCs. They were making DLCs for the game, which were massively, obviously successful. People still talk and dissect these DLCs as much as possible. By the way, people have been telling me, because I have played New Vegas multiple times, and I have not once played Dead Money. People were telling me in the comments that I'm hugely missing out, that Dead Money is an amazing DLC. So, next time I'm installing New Vegas, which by my calculations should be, I don't know, probably in the next 4 months, by my typical standards, I'm probably gonna do a Dead Money, boys. It's gonna be great.
Pretty loose-lipped about things, or at least that's not hugely surprising. But yeah, it's kind of amazing to imagine that. Trying to think of where to begin with this. That story of not delivering the source code at the end is so bananas to me. I'm shocked that it's only 10K. I guess if they had a game they could sell, that's all that matters. But yeah, the fact that the source code wasn't delivered.
Now, I don't know a lot about game development finance, even though I am finance, but these things are very split. Every industry is different from every other industry in the smaller bits and pieces. But the fact that actually it was not delivered by default is kind of fucking crazy. So you're telling me you can hire, as a game developer, someone to make a game for you, and when they do it, they can just not give you the game code if it's not a part of the deal? That sounds absolutely bananas.
At all. Feels like a spiteful move. I mean, you don't know why it happened, but it doesn't necessarily imply that everything was going great. And that makes sense. I thought that, I think like a lot of people, I thought that once Obsidian and Bethesda were under the same umbrella, that maybe Obsidian would have the chance to work on Fallout again. But I think it's even more telling that they kind of made their own version of that with the Outer Worlds. So it's a pretty clear statement to me that they're fine doing their own thing.
You're totally right.
No, this is not true. There have been multiple reports where over the last, I don't know, a couple of years, like 3, 4, 5 years, Obsidian has multiple times stated that they would do a Fallout New Vegas 2, which I hope they don't get, okay? If you're a Bethesda fan, let's be completely real. The absolute endgame of our current existence is Bethesda doesn't make any new games ever. They just sell their IPs to whatever goddamn company they can, and we hope it's not Ubisoft and, someone just randomly makes all the Bethesda IPs. Because I'm not trusting Bethesda to make anything. Neither are most people watching this. And I'm not trusting, after I saw what has happened with Obsidian, to also make Fallout New Vegas 2. A lot of people, by the way, don't know about this because they don't follow it as much as me and other people. But trust me, boys, if you don't know about the Obsidian situation, all of those things, trust me, you do not want Obsidian touching New Vegas 2. Because it's going to be as bad as, well, maybe, arguably, even honestly, worse than what Bethesda would make. Because if I had to actually compare Starfield to the Outer Worlds 2 or Avowed, I think Starfield slightly edges it out. Definitely over Avowed. And, not by hugely, but it does edge out also Outer Worlds 2. But that's not a good thing. That doesn't mean that Outer Worlds 2 is good. It's complete garbage. It's really bad as a game. And that's how it is. If I have to choose, Bethesda makes Fallout New Vegas 2 or Obsidian. Now, obviously, both are devil's bargains. But Obsidian sounds actually worse, if we're being completely real. At least in my opinion. I think it's very close, and you can argue about this in the comments if you feel like it. But yeah, that's pretty much all of the most important stuff here. Thank you for not making me read an article inside gaming, because I'm a lazy person. Thanks for watching. Like the video, by the way. Do it right now. Bye.